Welcome to the video, everyone. Now, as I've been doing once in a while in my videos, what you're about to see has already taken place, so I'm just doing a little bit of an intro. And I door knocked this place. It is a very large, expensive home in a historic district, and I was a little bit nervous knocking, but the grounds are not pristine. So I just decided to use a conversation starter. This is a place I've seen in the past and I just really wanted to hunt it, and I'll show you why. Check out the size of this tree. So I'm finishing the intro in my office because as I was filming that intro, the homeowner came down to talk to me and I never ended up resuming the filming before it got dark. So anyhow, what happened is I knocked on her door and said, my name was John and I'm a history buff and a few other things. And I said, I saw the tree in her backyard and how big it was, and that I assumed that it was at the very minimum at least 150 years old. And I said asked if it would be okay with her to check out around the tree with my metal detector and, kind of around down the road in the back of her yard. It's sort of a good way to ask someone a question for permission, because maybe they're not thinking like, oh, they want to detect my front yard or they're going to be around my house. So I just used that old amazing tree as a conversation starter, and from there I ended up talking to her for probably a good 20 minutes before I started detecting, and I found out that prior to that house being built in 1906, I actually thought the house was a little bit older, but it wasn't a problem, because she told me that when that house was built there, it was actually built on top of where an old 1800 schoolhouse used to be in that town, which I had absolutely no knowledge of. So it was a really exciting hunt. I was happy to get in there, and what you're about to see is awesome. I made a lot of cool finds, so I hope you enjoy. The video begins right now. Okay guys, first signal was a faint nickel signal about 3 inches down. Was this strange piece. Not actually sure what it's made out of. But anyway, I'm really excited here. I got a solid 81 signal. And look in the hole. It looks like a copper disc. I don't know what it is, but that's about the size of a half-cent. Could it be an old copper coin? I'm not sure. It's got a pretty thick rim on it. It could be more of like some type of token or something. Wow. Don't want to rub it too much. Just try to get the loose dirt off. Let me take a look at it here a second and I will get back to you. I don't know on this one. Well, I'm gonna have to wait and do a little bit of toothpicking on that one. I don't think I want to put it under water. It looks like some sort of copper alloy, probably bronze, but you can see that green edge. This could potentially be an old copper coin. Could also be a token. It's kind of hard to tell, but even if it is a token, it's probably going to be an old historic one. I can't wait to get this cleaned up. So let's put it in the pouch and keep searching. All right, guys, I really don't know what to say right now. This is that hole where I just pulled that out. There's something else in there that I don't even know what to say. So maybe this other target will give us more of an idea of what that coin or token is. Yeah, it's like right down underneath where the other one came off. Oh my goodness. Well, here it goes. Dude. There's no way. I know exactly what that is. Okay, so this isn't going to be as old as I thought, but this is it's a British threepenny bit, as they call them, or as you would say, 3-pence bit. It's a 3-pence coin from Great Britain. You can see how thick it is. The crazy thing is, this is like on my bucket list of something that I thought I was going to have to go to Europe to dig, and that is King George the, I think that's King George V on there. Or no, that's the King George VI, I think. That is crazy. So, that other one I found, looking at the size now, it could be a British ship halfpenny if they're both from Europe. So, it could be anything. But, what a crazy spill. I don't think there's anything else in there, but I will check it again. I believe this is going to be, I don't know, 1940s or 50s, somewhere around in there. But that is awesome. That is definitely a 3p. Sweet. Those things are so thick. It's about the thickness of probably maybe 2.5 pennies stacked together. Crazy. Awesome. Let's keep hunting. So it's in pretty toasty condition, but there is a look at the 3p cleaned up. You can see this side here, I barely picked away at it enough that you can see that the date is 1940. Now it appears that the side of the coin that was facing up is the side that is extremely crusty. This could be from, various acidity seeping through from the surface. Who knows what sort of substance or what sort of reactions over the years, but I have dug coins in the past where whatever side was facing up actually had concrete on them. So it's quite interesting to see that one side looks pretty normal for a dug coin, but yet one side is fully corroded. So indeed, this coin did turn out to be a British ship halfpenny, and like that 3p, the one side of the coin is completely corroded and crusted over, but thankfully on this one, the side that is more desirable with the ship is a lot more clear. Now I will work at it a bit more with a toothpick, but it is a 1937 halfpenny. Now these two coins are coins that could have definitely been brought home by a World War II veteran, as these coins would have definitely been circulating as pocket change during that period. So around the base of all these old trees, you can see there's a lot of sort of like a gravel in some areas mounded up. But anyhow, there's a lot of old glass, and I've been keeping an eye out for old stuff, and we got a cool little bottle here. Might be complete. You can see some milk glass there, which looks like, or that could be porcelain, part of a mason jar lid, but check this little guy out right here. It almost looks like it could be a small inkwell or something. And it's complete. Check that out. What an awesome surface find. That is one of probably my best surface finds ever that's non-metallic. Could be for some old rubber cream. It's got like kind of a screw lid, so it's not going to be an inkwell from what I can tell. Not sure, but that's really cool. Somebody that's an expert in bottles and stuff like this, please comment and let me know. I'd love to know exactly what this is. That's a sweet little find right there, though. So this turned out to be an awesome little glass jar right here. You can see on the back it says Noxema or no eczema. And it's completely intact. It's going to turn into a display piece. But anyhow, I have an article up here, and it says Noxema was invented in 1914 by Francis Townsend in Ocean City, Maryland. The formula was referred to commonly as no eczema. Dr. Townsend prescribed it as a remedy to early resort vacationers burned by the sun. Demand for the product grew as the years progressed, and the product achieved national popularity by the 1940s through the use of radio and print advertising. Noxema contains camphor, menthol, phenol, and eucalyptus, among other ingredients, and was popular among women as a facial cleanser and makeup remover in addition to sunburn treatment. So there you go. Okay, so I just found this about 2 inches down, blew my ears out. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I wonder if that could be like the piece off of an old doorknob, but I'm not sure. Interesting relic anyway, though. Plenty of stuff back here. I think we're gonna pull out some really cool things. I've only been here about 10 minutes. Well, I got a signal in the 70s about 3 inches down, and I found another target similar to that one I showed. It's definitely lead, so I'm sure the other one is too, but this one's bigger than the last one. So I'm not exactly sure what the deal is with these. I don't think they're weights, but who knows? Old blocks of lead. Pretty interesting. All right, we got another interesting find here. Now, I will say off the bat, I'm not certain if this is a musket ball. It's not oxidized. I don't know if the strange soil could be part of that or if it's just not that old, but I am in an area where there was a pretty heated Civil War battle. So, Civil War relics are definitely a possibility in this huge back lot here. You can see that it's definitely lead, no doubt about that. Super heavy. Kind of looks like a musket ball, but normally they have a really white color from being oxidized, being in the ground 150 years. This one doesn't look like that, so I'm not certain. I really don't know what else it would be, but what looks to be a musket ball anyway. Pretty sweet. I'm not sure where the other clip went, but I did find 2 of these musket balls on the property, and you can see as that crust flakes off, they are very oxidized underneath. So yes, they are Civil War period musket balls from the battle that took place in the area that I was metal detecting. So I was very happy to find these in that big back lawn. But anywho, they're going to go in our new display case, the No Eczema jar. There you go. We'll have to add to it. I've been keeping my eyes peeled and finding little bits of pottery. And this here I just dug up. Now I would have said it's a random piece of melted lead if it wasn't for that abnormally intentional point at the tip of it. So I'm not sure what that is. Pretty weird. Could have been some type of old lead seal. It is pretty heavy. I'm not certain though. A lot of strange targets back here, but it's old stuff, I can tell you that. All right, I got another strange target here, another piece of lead, and I have no idea what this is. I would say it's some type of lever or something like that, but it doesn't look anywhere like it would have broken off, except maybe right there on that side of it, unless it came off of something here. Apart from that, it looks like a solid piece, so maybe it did break off there and it was some sort of handle. I'm not sure, but another solid chunk of lead. Old lead is always a great sign when you're metal detecting. It means there's goodies nearby. So I've been working on picking up some pottery, and I found a broken piece of a really old Pepsi bottle. And there's not a lot of high tones here, but check this signal out. Now I'm not sure if this is just going to be a junk target, but very high conductive, coming right around 90. And it's not like a super huge target. So I figured we'd try this one live. Oh, there it is. What is that? What in the world? We might have another mystery item. Huh. That's crazy. See how thick that is? It gave me a heart attack when I saw that was round. Thought it was some kind of crazy big old token. Huh. We're gonna have a lot to clean up later, that's for sure. Okay, I'm working this young tree row right here. Or tree line, I should say. There's a couple of these on the property. But anyhow, I got my first US coin in about 40 minutes in. It is just a memorial cent, but it is the high relief, so it's going to be 1959 to 1968, right by the way back on the back end of the property here, and behind the house. So I'll keep looking around here. There's stuff all over the place. I'm still digging up them little lead rectangles, all scattered all over the place. Alright, you see I have a pretty big hole opened here, but I'm glad it's a neat find. It was a really deep signal, didn't want to come in really well. I thought it may just be deep iron, but it kind of sounded like a silver coin too. But still working that tree line in the back of the property, about 10 inches down. Look at it right there. It's lead. It looks like a big old hem weight. That's exactly what it is. That's a big one. Now, for those of you who don't know, hem weights were used, these were sewn onto women's dresses, like skirts, so they wouldn't blow up in the wind. So there you go. Nice old big hem weight. Very happy to have that. Been a long time since I found one of these. But yep, that was pretty close to a foot deep. Probably a good 9 to 10 inches. And lead sinks deeper, so old lead targets sometimes are way down there. I got a really nice non-ferrous target that was ringing up in like the copper range, but it was bigger, so I figured it was just going to be a piece of trash. But man, this is a really cool find. Hopefully I didn't get it too bad. I did ding it with the shovel a tiny bit, but it looks to be a huge old watch fob. You can see the slot on the top. This is definitely an old fob. Man, the dirt is very adhered to these items, so you can't really see much of anything when I get them out of the hole. But man, that's probably one of the larger ones I've ever dug, and I'm not sure what's on it, but I hope it's in good shape. That is going to be a very historic find right there. Hopefully it's one of the older ones. But sweet. We'll get it in the pouch and we'll keep hunting. That was only about an inch and a half down. This turned out to be an awesome fob, and I'm going to let you guys do the research on this one. You can see up at the very top it says established 1884. There's so much detail on this thing. And on the back of it, it says direct to consumer, quick service, H. Clark and Sons, something, Richmond, Virginia. And then it says something like the South's greatest something. Alrighty, we may be onto something good here. I wanted to show you this target first. There's a really big signal right here. Not only is it big, but it's deep. When it reached 4 inches, but it's a huge target that's probably more like a foot deep. So maybe I'll get the foot shovel out of the car and dig that one. That's going to be a deep, old, big target. It seems like it's non-ferrous though, because it's not chirping much at all like iron does normally a little bit. But that's not why I turned the camera on. Right where my foot is. It's the first signal I've had in a while here that's coin-ish, coin-like. It's a small target. It's ringing in 85, 84, 85 on the button. And it's very small, very concise signal. This sounds like an old penny or hopefully an old worn silver dime. Okay, we're gonna do it live. I don't think the pinpointer's gonna read it. Now we're gonna have to dig for this one. It's probably right at about 3 inches, give or take. Should read it now with the pinpointer. There it is, it's a coin. That is a 1966 penny. So the only two coins we found way in the back here by the road and behind the house are from the 60s. That's better than stuff from the 90s or 2000s, that's for sure. But with all them relics mixed in, I'm liking it. Well, I got a crazy non-metallic find while I'm digging a probably trash target. This is really cool though. The amount of old stuff in the ground here is just amazing. As I'm digging down for my target, I just found what looks to be half of a porcelain doorknob. That is crazy. Pretty certain that's what that is. That is really cool. I don't think I've ever found one of these before. One of the porcelain ones. But anyhow, let's see if the pinpointer will read the target. Maybe we'll finish it live. Oh, yep, we're right down at it. Almost touching it, so may as well. Oh, there's the other half. That's, unless the signal I have is the piece out of the back of it, I don't think I could have broke that. There's no way. I didn't even hit anything when I was digging, or at least anything I could feel. That was cool that the whole thing's in there. So maybe it's that center part that's ringing up. So we're gonna find out in a second. Yeah, I think so. I think it went right in there, in the back of it, just like that. Huh. That's a pretty cool relic. Porcelain doorknob. I like it. I'll have to glue that back together, but it's probably been broken for a really long time. You see how the dirt's really adhered to the side of it? If I just broke that, that would be clean, that edge. So I didn't do that. It's a bummer that it's broke, but that's a really cool find. If that metal piece, brass, wasn't attached to the back, we would have never found it. Okay, very shallow here. We got a really loud brass sounding signal because it's ringing in super solid, but the numbers are not high like silver. So normally these are like brass targets or kind of something like that. But man, here it could be an old good relic. It's pretty close to the surface and a really, really, really strong signal. So I figured we'd do this one. What is that? What in the world? Well, that's definitely brass. Huh. Man, it's got a really distinct edge around it. Like it's gonna have some designage. Or some wording too, possibly. I don't know, man. This place is stumping me. There's some really old and interesting stuff in this place. We will get it cleaned up later. Okay, I had a solid signal near the surface. Rang in like in the 70s. Thought it might just be a trashy item. But it's another hemweight. These must be from the old schoolhouse that used to sit here. Maybe the girls were wearing them. And that's why there's multiples of these. That one, the kind of little line that goes across there, I don't know what to call it right now, it's bent up. But I thought I heard like a copper penny-ish signal right above it too. There might be two targets. So let me just try it live, see if there is, or if it just hit weird because it was shallow. No, that was all one signal. It just sounded different when I changed directions because it's a large lead target and close to the surface. Kind of read over a wide area, but another sweet relic. Well, I'm taking a break here. Here's most of the good stuff so far. I just bought this container recently. Actually, I bought it a little while ago. Haven't used it much yet. I forgot to put like cotton balls and stuff in my car to pack in any of the better stuff. But yeah, we're doing pretty good. I just keep picking up all the pottery and the thick older glass that I see. I'm obviously not picking up the glass that looks modern. But man, we got all kind of relics in here. I can't wait to get this all cleaned up. But looking pretty good, and of course a lot of trash to go with this. Okay, so I've locked onto an amazing signal here that is at least quarter sized. It could be bigger, it could be $half sized or around there. The thing is, the numbers aren't ringing up super high like it would be a silver $half. It's not right on the surface, which is good, and it's ringing in very tight. Coming in 88, 89. So I don't know what this is going to be. One of the best targets we've had all day. So we're going to go ahead and do this one live. I'm going to cut a pretty large plug. Just in case it's something good. Here comes the wind. Oh man, it's just a thick, chunky, round piece of lead. Boy, is that a bummer. That rang up so sweet. Oh well, can't win them all. Okay, I think we're onto something pretty good right now. I'm working the opposite side of this tree line, over here by the back alley, where they put all their brush, and I figured there'd be a lot of old trash from the street back in here, so I was hugging the tree line. This is on the other side of where I found the fob, the hemweight, and the 60s pennies. I had a feeling there was going to be some old stuff back here, and if you look in the hole here, it looks like I got something silver down there. I'm going to show you the edge of it. That's definitely silver. Looks like a dime. See if we can figure out what it is. That is a Mercury Dime. Sweet. So I'm going to work this section out here good. I don't think the ground was shifted as much on this bottom end of the property. So we're hitting the coins down here. Looks like it's in pretty good shape too. Excited about that one. And there she is, the gorgeous 1943 90% silver Mercury Dime. Always love to find these. A little bit of dirt left on there I may be able to get off, but quite a bit of detail left on there. Probably in the low end, very fine range. Definitely a beautiful coin and very happy to have it. Okay, this is pretty crazy. I had a shallow signal that I thought was just going to be a modern coin. It was literally sitting down right on top of this root. I don't know if this was a modern drop or a recent drop, I should say, or what, or if it was just preserved from sitting in the ground at a weird angle on that root. But it's a 1950 8D wheat penny, and my goodness, it doesn't look like it's been buried very long. Looks like it still has a lot of the original surface on it. It's pretty crazy. Just right under the grass, sitting right on top of that big old root. That is crazy. Don't gotta do much cleaning to that one. Okay, it's only been about a minute. There's a lot of old stuff by the road back here, and had a really solid signal right down there. Knew it wasn't gonna be a coin, but it's half of an old makeup compact, and that may have a design on it, I'm not sure. Looks like there's something there from looking at the back end of it. I'll check the hole, see if the other half is in there, but probably not. Bum, dum, dum, bum.
6 very important reasons we believe we are the largest manufacturers of cosmetics and metal novelties at prices that will be agreeably surprising. We control the entire output of several large metal container plants. We manufacture all our products. We do all our finishing and buffing. We do all our own plating and coloring. We manufacture our own vanity puffs. And if that's not enough, we do our own artwork. Taking all these factors into consideration, we are in a position to quote you prices which are astonishing. Each and every department is managed by men who have spent many years specializing in this field of manufacture. We will supply compacts, boxes, puffs, or the complete package. Samples sent by request. The Reich Ash Corporation, the largest manufacturers of cosmetics and novelties. 5961 Reed Street, New York.
Alrighty, we get another coin in the hole. And this one looks like just, yeah, another memorial. It is high relief though. So the question is, do we stay and keep popping these coins that are semi-old, or do we go back and look for the relics? That is the question. So every time I think I'm gonna have a can or something like that, this place just keeps putting out the relics. I mean, all the trash targets, or I should say the trash signals I'm used to hearing, they're like all relics. It's like relic mania back here. But we got some sort of another compact of sorts. Oh, my camera battery's just about to die. I gotta change that. What does that say on there? COTN or something? I don't know. I might not even have that the right way. Yeah, it has to be that way. We'll clean that off later. But man, I gotta check the hole. Maybe there was something buried down in there. Oh, another relic for the pouch. Stand by. I know there's more coming. Right now I'm working the trashed corner. And there's a lot of junk back in here. Had a signal here, it was interesting, 3 inches down. It's kind of funny. It's an old zinc penny spill and there's not much of them left. After I pulled this one out of the hole, that one rang up like a nickel because it's only like maybe 65% of it. But yep, those were down in the same hole. Alright, it's been quite a while since I've had the camera on. The signals are slowing down. But I got another lead weight. Now, before anyone starts yelling at me, it's possible that these could be window weights. Tell me how to tell the difference, because I know they use the same design, you know, for skirts and stuff. So, but I'm pretty sure those were maybe the smaller kind. These ones are quite large. So I'm actually starting to think now those might be window weights. So somebody chime in and let me know for certain. But I got another one. Huh. So yes, I found 4 of these. And they all have that same mark on the top, which looks like it is A4. Now, when I said window weights, what I mean is they would be hung on the bottom of drapes and to keep them from blowing around. So the same concept as with the skirts. Now, I believe the ones that were sewn onto the bottom of women's skirts were a little bit smaller, and I've found the smaller ones before. They're about half this size, but same exact design, also made of lead. And there was also ones that were square in shape. Once again, small ones and ones large like this size. So they were used for various purposes, but that's what they are. They're old lead weights. So correct me if I'm wrong, this may be a piece off of an old lantern. And that was down there a good 6 inches. Pretty sure that's what that is, but I'm not certain. It's old anyway. Well, if there's a way to annoy my subscribers, I'll find it. Not only is it windy today, but the guy that owns the property next door is power washing. But anyway, I just got a really interesting target here. I have no idea what it is. Now, this like octagonal piece just broke off right there. It broke off of somewhere up here. It was actually right on this hook, right there, where the tip of my thumb is. So, I have no idea what this is. That's really weird. We will investigate later. Well, I cleaned it up a bit. This is crazy. This is one of the oldest dog tags or licenses that I've ever found. It says Montgomery County, MD, Maryland. I ain't anywhere near Maryland. So that's pretty interesting. Number 1723, down at the bottom it says dog tax. I think 1920 something. It might be a 3, but I don't think so. This is a really old style. So I think this is an old dog tax from the 1920s. That might be the oldest one I've ever found. That's pretty cool. And I saved the other piece. I'll clean off, see if there's anything on later. That's really sweet. I just got an unexpected find here just because of where it's at. I'm in the side yard where you can tell that they did a lot of work at some point, and it's all fill dirt in here. You can see all these rocks right on top. So this is definitely filled in, or at least maybe something was tore out of this patch. But there was a coin signal down in there. I'm like, well, it's probably trash. But down in all that pushed around material, got an old wheat penny. It's nice to see another old coin. Can't see the date on it, but another oldie. And I actually just dug a modern quarter a second ago. Kind of doing the side yard now, so we may start to hit more coins. I was kind of more so relic hunting earlier, but it looks like we may get some other old coins over on this side. There's a lot of shallow low tones here, and I got my first nickel of the day. I thought it was just going to be trash. Here it's in really, really bad shape, really corroded, but I think it's only 1984. It's pretty crazy, but yep, still a nickel. Stuff's really slowing down now, and I'm getting tired. I'll give it probably another 15 minutes, and that's gonna do it. Alrighty, so I got an awesome signal right at the on the side of the root of this pine tree, and might be under the root. Coming right in that copper penny range though. Here it could be anything. Yep, hitting the root on that side. So we're gonna have to take it from here, do a little moon shape plug, and see if it's up along the side of it. From where I popped that, I think that signal may be underneath that root, but we're gonna find out in a second. Now it seems like it's right off to the side, so we will be able to retrieve it. Yeah, I know the sun's coming through here at a weird angle right now. All right, almost there. It could have been worse, that's for sure. We got it in the pile. It is a coin. Let me turn out of the sun and the wind. It's an old wheat penny. Sweet. So the neighbor's house is extremely old too. You can't see much of it from here, but it's right up there. They're power washing this fence right now, and I'll have to ask. I'm pretty sure the property ends right on this side of the fence, but they may have this back lot because they have this fenced weird. So I'll have to ask her if she owns this over here and check it out. But anyway, oh, I guess I forgot to turn my pinpointer off. But we didn't end up finding too many signals over by the big old tree right over there, but there's been a lot of ground shifted around here over the years, so who knows what happened. I actually found most of my stuff between that tree and out by the road, kind of all the relics in through there, and most of the old coins were close to the road, so who knows. Mostly fill dirt on the side, but interesting spot for sure. Not an easy place to hunt, and there's no way I can find everything in one go, but I think I got at least a good majority of the goodies out of here. I was debating whether or not to go for this one. I knew it was a deep, larger target. I went down almost a foot. It's another doorknob. That's an old one. And I know I scratched the heck out of it trying to get it out. That was really wedged down in there. You can see where I sliced it a bunch of times on that side. That is an old one though. We'll have to clean it up later. But actually that was only about a yard away from the wheat penny. Crazy. Okay, I'm still working under the pine trees and it's not working out real good because these decomposing pine needles and loose, soft, powdery dirt is flying up in my face with the wind. But anyway, down in the roots here, I locked onto a signal I was able to isolate, and it's another coin. That's another wheat penny. Sweet. So I guess there's no fill around the trees here, because the other wheatie was right around the other side there. So we'll put it in the pouch and we'll keep going. Okay guys, I am not exaggerating when I say I spent the last 10 to 15 minutes on this target. It was too good to pass up when I got it to lock in. I thought I was on maybe to a deep old silver quarter. There are roots going every which direction here. I'm out by the road again. And after 10 to 15 minutes of working down in the roots, cutting the small ones and just working down in, there's my target. It's an old brass ring. I'm assuming this is some sort of horse tack. It's definitely brass and it's definitely old because it's down under all of these roots. Literally right down under this one, about 7 to 8 inches. I thought I was onto an old silver quarter, maybe like a barber or something, but we'll take that. Another nice relic for the pouch. So I'm really taking my time under this pine tree row here, and I locked onto another signal. So there's still stuff hiding down here that's especially close to these tree trunks. You gotta go real slow because the ground tends to get hard and dry and you have the roots to go through too with the detector. So I'm working it real slow around the pine trees, and you can see right there when I pop the plug, right there, actually, I don't know, that might be the memorial imprint there. You see it kind of rectangular back there, but even if it is, let's hope it's at least from the 60s. But I'm hoping this is a wheat penny. Ooh, looks like the mower got it. I think it is a wheat penny. Does that say 1944 on it? Yeah, that's a wheat penny. Yeah, you can see it clearly there now, 1944. That one got clipped good. Alrighty, let's keep popping these coins and relics. This is a challenging place to detect, I can tell you that. So let me just throw out one of my theories. I don't know how right I am, because it seems like there are a concentration, or I should say is a concentration of decent non-ferrous targets up by the bases of even these young trees, but yet the places where there are no trees, like say out in the middle of here, between the tree row right here and the other tree row out there, there's like not good signals in between. I almost think like whenever they push this dirt around, these trees were already planted and then maybe they moved, see it's how it's lumpy through here, and they like pushed it all around in through the trees. That way the bases of some of them did not see disturbed soil. That's just a theory. I'm not sure how correct it is, but the giant tree definitely has like a fill or something, some kind of material pushed up all around it, as well as some of the other older trees. And I'm not able to find anything old underneath the big trees, but yet I'm finding wheat pennies and stuff around like these pine trees here at the bottom. So I'm not certain, but in between these roots here, I just got another penny signal and worked at it for about 2 minutes trying to get it out between all them fine roots. And I don't know if this is a wheat or a memorial, but normally if it's a memorial, when you rub it, you'll see it on the back. The wheats tend to be more crusty. So I'm pretty certain that's another wheat penny. Okay, so we got another one of those weights. That's the fourth one. Now, I have one more theory mulling around my head why there's not many signals in like the open areas, and it could be just because of what I used to do back when I was a newbie detectorist, and that was metal detect the easy to hit spots where there wasn't roots and it was easy to lock into signals. It wasn't until a while after I started metal detecting that I realized that under hard packed ground, under like where trees are, The ground tends to be harder packed because the trees suck up the moisture. You have all the roots, and especially around old trees, it's normally hard packed because it's an attraction where a lot of people stand underneath. And especially if there's a lot of iron and trash in the ground, then it makes it even harder to pick up deep signal. So when you're metal detecting around old trees, usually you have to swing incredibly slow, do multiple different patterns and directions over the tree you're metal detecting around, and then you'll start to unlock the deep old stuff. And if there is good stuff under the tree, you want to clear out every little piece of trash, because between the hard ground, the roots, and like the iron and trash targets, if you just walk by at 20 miles per hour with your metal detector around a tree, you won't find anything, and that doesn't mean there's anything under there. I learned that over the years of detecting, of course the hard way. You don't realize all the stuff you missed until you start to get better at what you do. So that's just another theory. This place could have been detected by someone else and they got the majority of the easy targets out. I do know that the lady that lives here has only owned the property for like a year, so this place could have been metal detected in the past. I would guarantee that with the history in the area, that somebody would have door knocked this place at some point in the past. I had knocked on a place that was down the road a little bit. It was a huge mansion. I just went for it, but the lawn wasn't like pristine, and the guy told me he's been asked by somebody before and had let him look around. So you never know. But hey, it's trying to figure out the stories about a place that kind of it's half the fun too. Just thinking about everything, how people lost the things, why it is where it is. It's just a lot of fun. I already tried, but there's no way we're getting to this one. Since these are younger trees, I mean, they just grow over top and reclaim old stuff. But I want to show you this. There's no way we're getting to this one. Pretty large signal in the mid 70s. I mean, it could just be an old piece of trash, but it could also be a relic. It's definitely not a coin, for sure. But I mean, it's smack dab right down underneath this massive root. I put the shovel in this way to see how it is. There's other roots going off to the side. There's no way I can dig down through here, and this kind of bows out on this side, so there's no way I'm getting to that one today. But just goes to show you, these young trees, they reclaim the relics. Okay, I am one more time working the tree line out by the front, except I've changed directions. I've done like circles all around those young pine trees there and pulled out them couple wheat pennies. And I'm here. This didn't sound like one of the shallow junk low tones, and I dug it because it had depth on it, and I don't know, this looks like it's some sort of button. Considering the area I'm in, that would be awesome if this is a Civil War button. It kind of looks different than the general service buttons, so I'll have to clean it up later. But yeah, it was down there, good 4 inches. We'll see. I'm gonna wait and clean this one up properly at home. I just rubbed a little bit of spit on it to see anything coming through. That is definitely an old one. I don't know if it's Civil War related, but this is for certain an 1800s one. Hopefully even colonial, I'm not sure though. The shank is on there. You can see it's just plastered to the back, folded over. That is definitely an oldie, so I'm looking forward to getting this cleaned up. This is potentially the oldest find of the day right here. Okay, so let me explain this button to you, and it's actually quite rare. I was surprised when I looked into it. So, Cadet VMI. VMI standing for Virginia Military Institute. Now, the VMI is, or at least was, located in Lexington, Virginia. And I found this within a couple hours of Lexington, Virginia. Now, the VMI was burned down in 1864 during the Civil War by Union forces. The interesting thing is, I have been trying to figure out, to the best of my ability, which variety this is, and it's really hard to do because the back mark is extremely weak and almost non-existent, but I've been comparing it to other buttons, and I believe this one to be one of the general genuine pre-Civil War produced, used during the Civil War buttons. So it makes sense also because of where I found it. There was a strong Confederate presence during the war, so it's highly probable. You saw the musket balls that I found, and this is the same city that a few months ago I found a rare Kentucky militia Civil War button. So there's a lot of really interesting and oddball Civil War related relics coming out of this place, stuff that I've never found before and had to research. And what makes it more interesting is if this is indeed one of the Civil War period ones, which I believe it to be. I'm not 100% certain, but this is the institute that Stonewall Jackson taught at. So there is a probability that the person who wore this button was under the instruction of Stonewall Jackson himself. So this is an amazing piece of history and one of the most interesting Civil War relics that I have found, and I'm very happy to have it. Okay, I still had a signal in the hole in like the exact same spot. I went down about a ½ inch under where I dug that old button, and there looks to be a 12 gauge shotgun head stamp underneath it. Looks like the old one. I think it's the paper cartridge one, but yeah, let me see what that button rings up. Well, I'll have to check in a minute. It's in my pouch, but that's crazy. The button probably is brass, so it's probably that head stamp that made the signal come in lower. That's probably actually what I was hitting more so, because I thought I was digging a nickel signal. Pretty crazy. Yeah, let me show you guys here. I just tossed that button back onto the ground. Move my pinpointer. It's ringing up 72. So the original signal I found was actually that shotgun head stamp, and I pinpointed and dug that button first. What are the odds of that? Weird. So I'm right in the corner by the hedges, literally wedged up in here, and I got a 81 signal down about 3 inches. And it's some sort of, I don't know if it's some sort of pendant or what. It doesn't appear to be too terribly old. Pot metal with maybe almost like a chrome plating or something that's coming off. Or maybe it was an old silver plating. I can't really tell right now. There it went. It's getting dark out. I'll clean it up later. Oh, I may as well do it while I have the camera rolling. I did find something else deep. There were people walking by. I didn't film. This was very deep here in the front yard. She said go ahead and hunt the front. So I found this old piece. It was very deep. It was in with a bunch of coal. There's like some fill in here, or at least just old materials. But this was really deep. This signal was kind of wedged in the corner on the edge here where the bushes were cut back. So I think somebody's metal detected this front yard before, because I'm not finding many signals, but there's definitely some stuff left down there. Don't got too much daylight left, so if I get anything good, I'll let you know. I am back in my car now. It is getting very dark, but anyhow, there are not many targets in this front yard, and everything's cut back really far right now, and there really isn't any landscaping and stuff. So I worked around the hedges, and I worked in some old landscaping, and believe it or not, a couple inches down in the landscaping, I found a buffalo nickel. I thought it was going to be a modern nickel. I wasn't even expecting a coin. I'll clean it up. It's got a lot of detail on it. So that one's probably from the 1930s. It's probably a 35, 36, or 37. But man, I can tell just even under all that dirt, it looks really sharp. But apart from that, I got a couple trash bits. Those 2 targets I showed. I got this pull tab was also in the landscaping. And I got this weird piece out by the road. Not exactly sure what that is. It's very light. I thought like some sort of like arrow tip or something, but I don't know. That's really light. Kind of weird. What an amazing hunt it turned out to be. So without further ado, we're going to start plugging away at this wrap-up without going over everything I already showed in the video. We got this porcelain doorknob, a brass doorknob. We got that really nice no eczema container. We got our pottery and glass bits there. A couple odds and ends like levers, and obviously I'm not showing any of the trash that I dug, just the interesting stuff. This piece didn't turn out to have anything on it. Not sure what that's off of. I'm hoping someone can have an answer for me here. Those are all those lead rectangular blocks that I found in the yard. Really have no idea what those are, but they were scattered all over the place. We got our 2 Civil War musket balls, some horse tack running around there. We got the 2 British coins. That weird shaped piece of lead just ended up being, well, a weird shaped piece of lead. This that I thought was something kind of shaped like a shield just ended up being a chrome plated piece of something that busted off of something else, but that shape is just like accidental, I guess. Kind of really looked like something. This, I still have no idea what it is, so I'm hoping somebody can comment if you have any information whatsoever on what this might be. It looks fairly old, but I have no idea what it is. Absolutely no idea. We have that awesome VMI button, and the dog tags turned out to be 1937, and the other one that was attached to it, which I figured was going to be a rabies vaccination tag, was just the following year's tag, 1938. So they left the old one on when they put the new one on. So I got 2 dog taxes for consecutive years. That was pretty cool. This here, not exactly sure what it is, but looking at it, kind of looks almost like an old spark plug gap connector or something of the sorts. Runs from 0 to 10. And says vernier at the bottom, VERNIER. So if you know what that is, please comment. That one thing I found toward the end was an arrow. That's definitely an arrow tip, and you can still see it's got some of the wood in the bottom there yet. So I thought that was interesting. So let's go to some coins. The only modern coins I found on that property was a 1980, 85 quarter, 2 crusty zinc pennies, 3 copper pennies from the 60s, 1 from 1982, a 1984 nickel, and that is it on the modern coins. On the better coins, the 6 wheat pennies I ended up with were 1941, 1942, 2 1944s, a 1945, and this one here, which is that super clean 1958D that was sitting on top of that root. That was crazy. Like I said, I have no idea if this was dropped more recently than not, or if it was an old drop that was preserved from the strange conditions, which I think is the case because it wasn't a surface find, it was underground, but very weird. Maybe because it didn't come in contact with soil, or much soil at all. It stayed in good condition, just sitting on top of that tree root. Pretty amazing anyway. I showed the 1943 Mercury Dime up close. This I didn't show because it really surprised me, and it was dark out. I thought this was going to be a mid-1930s Buffalo nickel. Here, with all that detail, it's actually a 1920. Probably a good, extremely fine details. It has the full horn under there. Obviously, with the environmental damage, it's not going to have much numismatic value. But to pull one out of the ground like that, that's amazing. And in that condition, without corrosion, if it had a D-mint mark, it'd be worth about $250. Not making that up. Really beautiful buffalo nickel there. I didn't look at the 1920 Philly, but without the environmental damage, that might actually be a $20 coin. That's a beauty, one of the best dug ones I've found. We got the Makeup Compacts, the one that's Deere brand, D-E-E-R-E. I've never found one of those before. That's why I put that informational bit in the video. And the other one I found is also an old, cosmetic compact, and this brand is still in business today. I know, I looked it up. It's, I don't know how to say it, Cody, C-O-T-Y. Not sure how to pronounce that. Cody, who knows. But that's only half of that as well. Apart from that, we got those lead weights, and I think that was about, except for this. I forgot to throw this in there, that awesome fob too. So let's put that right in there. So apart from a big pile of trash that I dug too, that we're not going to show in this video, had an absolutely amazing time. What an assortment from that property. And that lady was real nice and said she would invite me back sometime. So hopefully that video will be coming sometime in the future. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care and happy treasure hunting. We'll see you soon.